Hi, guys. Welcome to another episode of The Comfort Circle. This episode, we're going to be talking about kidney disease, and we have three talented creators with us. Two of them are renal dietitians, and one of them is a kidney disease survivor. So, if you guys could give you a brief intros, but before that, I'll just introduce myself. My name is Shanzay Khan, and I am a clinical psychology major, and I am the social media lead at Inspired Comforts. So, at Inspired Comforts, we make adaptive clothing for people who are going through dialysis, chemotherapy, post surgery recovery. And other than that, I was just telling Jen as well that we want to build a community where like minded people can come together and share, like support, life stories, tips, education, and stuff like that. So, we want Inspired Comforts as a place to be a place where people can come together and do that. So that is why we're hosting these panels and having these conversations because I feel like you guys can add value with your insights. So yeah, let's start with Jen.
Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's such an honor to be here with a lovely group of women that are here to support people who have kidney disease. So if you haven't met me before, my name is Jen Hernandez. I am a registered dietitian and I'm board certified in renal education, renal nutrition. I've been doing this for almost my entire career as a dietitian. And I'm not good with dates. I'm not good with timelines, but I know I've been a dietitian for over a decade and working with people with kidney disease for over a decade. I have worked in many dialysis clinics across the country, actually, as my personal life has taken me a lot of places. And in working with dialysis patients and helping people navigate that change, it helped inspire me to create more advocacy and more awareness for people with kidney disease that wanted to do something before ending up on dialysis, which is where plant-powered kidneys came to fruition. And I started with just educating people online about what they can do to take care of themselves and protect their kidney health. And it's been a really amazing thing that I've been able to do since 2018 for plant-powered kidneys, helping people this way. And I was just telling Shanzay before we started that I'm thrilled and very excited that my first published book for people with kidney disease is about to come out in about 6 weeks from now. So it's plant-powered kidney nutrition, and it is an education book with recipes that I know just have to be included when we talk about kidney nutrition. So I'm really, really thrilled. So if you want more information, you can head to my website, which is plantpoweredkidneys.com, or you can find me on Instagram or Facebook for Plant Powered Kidneys.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I am Vanessa Connolly. I also am a renal dietitian, board certified specialist in kidney nutrition as well. I am unfortunately good with dates, and so I have been a dietitian for over 20 years, and my whole career has been inundated with like CKD. And so, like Jen, I've worked in dialysis. I am originally from Maryland, but I live in South Carolina, right outside Charleston. And so my whole career was just basically working with folks on dialysis. And I just was like that typical dietitian that would just kind of tell people like what to eat and this is what you're supposed to do. And the light kind of switched in my head, realizing like, I don't really need to be here anymore because there's so many people that end up on dialysis without having the opportunity to work with a kidney nutritionist or kidney dietitian to actually help slow down CKD progression with the foods that they eat. And so when I would meet with new folks ending up on dialysis, I would ask them, like, have you been seen by a kidney dietitian? And I can tell you with certainty, at least 90% had not. And so I just made it my mission to open up my own private practice, Grain and Green Kidneys, to really help educate and advocate folks to learn that there is so much more that you can do with your kidneys instead of just waiting and seeing and then getting yourself lined up to get on dialysis. And so once I did that, like that, it's just like my sole purpose on earth, I feel like, and it's like just my mission. And so I'm just excited and delighted to really help folks to really help slow down CKD progression. And so I'm also on social media. I'm on Instagram at grainandgreen.kidneys, and I'm also on TikTok. And my website is grainandgreenkidneys.com. And then just having people reach out to me just by using like tips and strategies that I talk about, and then they share like improvements in their labs. And so like that, if anything, like makes my day, because just taking simple tips and tricks that you can use and implement on your own, and you can actually see the results, that's my whole joy. And so yeah, it's just my mission, and like I'm not going to shut up about kidney nutrition and the benefits that it can really help folks with CKD.
And you should absolutely not shut up about it. Thank you for sharing that. Ashley?
Okay. Hi guys, I'm Ashley. I am known as Dialysis Barbie on TikTok and Instagram, and I have a pretty huge following because I go live and I put my needles in on live 5 days a week because I do dialysis from home myself 5 days a week, and I do that to spread awareness that you don't have to suffer in clinic, because in clinic I was very depressed and very I couldn't get out of bed. I was so depressed. I couldn't handle it. And so when I trained to go home, it was literally like me being set free from bondage, you know? And so I wanted other people to feel that as well. And so that's what I do. And I also talk about nutrition and everything, but I'm a patient, so I don't know it as much as y'all. I went vegan for so long to try to cure my kidneys. I juiced. I've tried so many different things and nothing worked, but it was not at all my doctor's telling me to try it. No one told me to try anything. Just sit and wait and let's see what happens, like you said. And so that was terrible. And now I look back and I'm like, dude, that whole time, I could have had another baby. I could have talked to other people instead of just sitting and waiting and trying all these toxic medicines for 9 years. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. And so now I have freedom through hemodialysis at home. I homeschool my kids, so I get to be with my kids all day, and it's amazing. And I'm educating a lot of people that had no clue hemodialysis at home was even an option. And they're like completely freaked out that I put in my own needles and everything. And it's becoming a very beautiful thing, and becoming a movement. And so in the past like month, I've gained like almost 7,000 followers just from me going live and showing my process. And it's really been amazing, really, truly been amazing. So that's my little story.
Thank you for sharing that, Ashley. So, Jen and Vanessa, I guess my first question would be, what is one food that you would tell people going through chronic kidney disease to add to their diet as a
I mean, to pick one food, you're talking to a dietitian who's like a foodie, first of all. So, but if I was to pick one food, you know, there's power in potatoes. You know, it has been researched to be found as the most satiating food available to us that we eat, meaning if you eat the same volume of different foods, that volume of potatoes is going to satisfy you the most. It's going to fill you the most. Renal diets have historically really shamed the idea of potatoes, and just it was always on a food to avoid list. But there is so much good nutrition in potatoes. And yes, the first thing people think of, because I know I'm saying, as I'm saying this out loud, I'm hearing people be like, oh, but the potassium. It is a potassium-rich food, yes. However, the research that has now come out to be part of the nutrition is chronic kidney disease, and this also can include dialysis as well. But the dietary potassium, the potassium we get from our food, is not directly associated with that blood potassium level. In some cases, but it's very uncommon. But in some cases, there might be a low potassium diet. However, historically, even practitioners like Vanessa mentioned, like as dialysis dietitians, we were going to just put everybody on a low potassium diet, and that's not the case anymore. Fortunately, a lot of dietitians are learning this, and so they're creating more flexibility and customizing people's nutrition education. This means potatoes can be back on the menu. And even if potassium was a dietary concern, double boiling potatoes can reduce the potassium by like 50%. So there's ways to include it even in a low potassium diet. But but potatoes have a great amount of fiber in them, and they're a carbohydrate, meaning they're going to have a great amount of energy too. So it's just, and there's just, my husband's favorite food is potatoes, so we're going to include them all the time anyway. So I want to just put out that push for potatoes. I feel like it's something that you have to avoid. It absolutely can be included, and it should be included if it's something that you want to do.
I couldn't agree with you more, Jen. I was going to say potatoes, sweet potatoes, because it is, yes, it's potassium rich. Yes, it's good source of fiber. Yes, it's very filling. And I know you probably get, like, people come for you when you talk about potassium, just like they come for me when I talk about potassium, and including these foods. And so I was also going to mention avocados. Like, I love avocados. It's a very good source of healthy fat. It's a very good source of fiber. It can be satiating, and to be a part of somebody's meal, whether it be breakfast, lunch, or dinner, right? And so trying to explain to folks that potassium is a mineral that can be really helpful with protecting kidney function, and incorporating them in a safe way you can still incorporate these foods no matter what stage of CKD that you have. And so, like, with potatoes and with avocados, like, I like to teach, like, using prawl and using high alkaline rich foods to help with protecting kidney function. And so with potatoes, I love it because it does have a very high negative prawl value. So when I'm working with folks that want to incorporate meat, that's something that I definitely would say, like, why don't we pair potatoes, sweet potatoes, and then throw in like maybe a lower potassium veggie like green beans or peas with that animal protein to really make it a much more kidney friendly, high fiber meal.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just hard. I can't just say one because there's so many.
That's the trick of the question.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys for sharing that. Ashley, my question for you is, before your journey with kidney disease, what is something that you didn't know about kidney disease that you know now, or like an unexpected challenge on this journey for you?
Okay. And then I'm so sorry, but I am so sick right now. I'm barfing. I might have to get off after this question. I am so sorry. I just woke
That's
up, and so when I wake up, I have to lay in bed for like 4 hours before I can function, and my body is shut down right now, and I have to severely go. So I'll answer this question. I'm so sorry. I'll have to leave. I hate it. Maybe I can come back or something. I don't know. But
yeah, we'll figure
this
it
is
out. That's fine.
the
Mm,
true life with being on dialysis and kidney disease. It's just very unpredictable. But one thing that for some reason I didn't realize is after I was in the hospital and they said, oh, you're going to have to be on dialysis. And I was on dialysis and I had a catheter. For some reason, when I started going in clinic, I didn't realize that I was going to have to put needles in my arm. Like, I didn't realize they were going to put these gigantic needles in my arm, 16 gauge. And that took me by surprise, and I had like a whole mental breakdown and crying over that, because I'm like, dude, this whole process is so painful. Why is now it's going to be even more painful? Even taking off the tape from your dialysis session is painful. It rips my skin off. It is all incredibly painful, and no one talks about how every step of dialysis is incredibly painful, mentally, emotionally, and definitely physically. And I think that's why I talked about it, because I didn't know any of this at all. They don't tell you anything. They're just like, oh, wait 10 years for your kidneys to fail, and then we're going to throw you into dialysis. You look up what dialysis means, but it doesn't tell you anything, you know? And so that is the thing that really surprised me. And I had to come to Jesus moment with it. You know what I mean?
that's tough.
Yeah.
I completely understand, Ashley. If you need to jump off the call, you prioritize your health.
I truly appreciate it. Thank you so much. And I will make it up to you. I'm so sorry.
You don't have to worry about that. We'll figure something out.
Bye, guys. Nice meeting you.
Bye.
Bye, Ashley. Feel better.
Thank you.
So my next question is like, Vanessa, especially you, I feel like in your posts have talked a lot about how patients have a lot of power, and like the victim mentality shouldn't be there and they should like try to take control. So realistically, how much power do you think patients actually have in their hand once something is wrong with their kidneys? Like the disease has been diagnosed. At that point, how much?
You have 100% of the power. I will say that like with 100% certainty. I just, I feel like I don't have lived experience with CKD, right? But I work with so many folks with CKD, so I can empathize with them. But a lot of folks, when they get that when they get that diagnosis, it does feel like a death sentence. And so they sit with it and no one's there to really talk about like the mental anguish that it goes through. So yeah, when I talk about CKD, like once you get diagnosed, like yes, it is crushing, but it's also up to you to do something about it, right? And so I don't want people to sit there and just allow doctors or practitioners or whoever just to like tell you, yes, you got CKD, yes, follow this like kidney diet handout, yes, just take these medications and then go about your business, because there is strength in numbers and there's strength in knowledge. And so yeah, when I go out and I talk on my platforms, I want folks to be pesky. I want folks to be annoying. I want folks to answer questions and read their doctor summaries. I can't tell you how many folks did not know they had a CKD diagnosis until years later, but it was in their medical record. And again, I'm not saying that to shame anybody. I'm not saying that to fault anybody. But when you get a diagnosis, like it is your responsibility to learn more about it, to ask the appropriate questions, and to get the help. And unfortunately, doctors are not very equipped to refer you to a renal dietitian really until like you're about to start dialysis, or they'll tell you you could just wait, you'll see one when you're on dialysis. And it's so reactive. And so just to try to get that voice and that message out, saying like you do not have to wait until then. There is so much opportunity and time now, especially in that early CKD diagnosis, to do something about it with your diet and your lifestyle and your nutrition, and yes, with medical management, to either improve, stabilize that GFR, prevent dialysis, or delay it for years and years to come. So yeah, I mean, you have, all people have the power to do something about it, like from day one.
That's actually very positive to hear. Jen, do you want to add something to that?
I mean, Vanessa said it so well. It's just there is so much power, especially in learning about it early in the CKD stages. But again, like Vanessa said, there's this, oh, let's just wait and, it's okay, dialysis, you'll get it taken care of then. Or I've heard also a lot of people that say that their practitioner just simply dismisses it and says the diet doesn't even matter. Like there's nothing for you to do here. But I always kind of come back with this response of saying, well, I mean, who is somebody that's not a nutrition expert to say diet doesn't matter? Because they just don't know. And that's not on them. That is not on the doctor. They're not the nutrition experts, nor do they need to be, because renal dietitians are available and we are the nutrition experts. We do spend all of our school, all of our education and our work focused on nutrition. So we do have that power to make that decision on if nutrition matters or not. And every single time, every single person I've worked with, whether it was a private client or in Kidney Wellness Academy, there's always something that can be done nutritionally that person is just like, wow, I had no idea. But then they see their labs, they see that trend and that improvement, whether it's a bump in their GFR and it's stabilized or improved, or if they see their blood pressure has come down drastically simply by changing the food they eat, and then they can come off medications. Like there's so many things that are available, so many different potential opportunities that it's almost hard to just like to think of only a couple, because it's endless. It's honestly endless. The power that you have and all the capacity. I mean, I've worked with people for years, and we still, after years of keeping their kidney function stable or improved, we're still able to find new ways to support their health and help them feel better and not feel like a walking diagnosis, and let them get back to like living their own life. So yeah, it's just, it's incredible what can be done. It's just a matter that people need to self-advocate and take it in their own their own hands, and don't just assume that the doctor is going to be the one to know if it would be the case.
So we're a little bit short in time, but I have like this really fun exercise, and it's like kind of like a rapid fire round. So I'm gonna tell you guys myths which I've heard about kidney disease and like are available online. And then you guys are gonna give your take on the myth. So the first one is kidney disease only happens to old people.
Myth. No, I've had patients in their teens.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, next one. If you don't feel pain, your kidneys are fine.
I don't think no, kidney disease is called the silent killer.
Yeah.
A silent disease. So pain is not related to CKD.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Drinking lots of water will prevent kidney disease.
Myth. It doesn't prevent kidney disease. It can help support your kidney function, but it's not. I get really like riled up when people tell me, "Oh, my doctor just said just drink water and I'll be fine." And I'm like, it's more than just water. It's helpful, but it doesn't prevent CKD.
Okay. If your urine looks normal, your kidneys must be healthy.
Oh, if only. I mean, if we could just look at the urine and be like, "Oh, no, it's all great." Like that would be fantastic, but that is absolutely a myth.
This one is, I think you guys will have a lot to say about this. Eating less protein will cure kidney disease.
I would not say it cures kidney disease. It helps slow down CKD progression because you are lessening the workload of the kidneys. But that's one piece of the puzzle, right? To help with supporting and improving potentially your kidney function, but it's not the end all be all.
Yeah, and I would also add that anything that says blank is a cure is automatically wrong. It's automatically a myth because there is no cure for kidney disease, which is the unfortunate truth. However, there are a lot of treatment options and ways to support the kidneys. So a low protein diet can support kidney health, but no, it cannot cure kidney disease. And also, not everybody is appropriate for a low protein diet. That's something that I see a lot too, that people are really restricting their protein when it's not actually benefiting them. It can cause harm if it's not done appropriately in the right setting.
Jen, would you share any myth that you've seen on your journey about kidney disease?
I mean, I loved all the ones that you said. I think one of the biggest ones that I've really been sitting on lately is this idea that if I need dialysis, then it means I failed. And I think that's just so heart-wrenching because, again, chronic kidney disease, it's a lifelong disease. There is no cure. And in the event that a person may need dialysis, dialysis is a life-saving treatment. It helps people go on for years and years beyond what they could have done without dialysis. And like Ashley had mentioned, like it's not fun. I've never had a dialysis patient excited to be in their chair, but it is a treatment method and it is really, really helpful in letting somebody continue to live while maybe they stay on dialysis or they go and get a kidney transplant. Either way, it does not mean that you failed. It means that the kidney disease progressed and your kidneys need more help than what you can provide alone. You did not fail. This is not on you. This is a chronic illness. We have causes. It doesn't mean it's anything directly related to you or your worth. Don't let me get emotional about this because I will, but it has nothing to do with you as a person, and it is a diagnosis and it's part of your story, but it's not your whole story.
What about you, Vanessa? from your journey?
I've been touching on this a lot recently too, is when, I work with folks or just folks in general, they are like terrified opening up their lab portals to look at their lab. And so I know people just hyper focus on that GFR and, it's like the end all be all. And it's like, oh crap, like it went up or maybe it went down 3 points and it's not as low as they expected it to be. And so my thing is like Jen mentioned, is like, okay, one number does not define who you are as a person. One number is just data to show us the health of the kidneys or what's going on with the kidneys. And so one thing I definitely stress is like, which I know it's hard to do because when you think about CKD, like the biggest thing is your creatinine and your GFR, and that's what people hyper focus on, right? But I want to have folks understand, like we really want to zoom out here. We want to see what the big picture is. So, okay, maybe GFR went down by a couple of points, right? But hey, we got your potassium stabilized. Like, oh my gosh, look, like your CO2, your carbon dioxide, it's not on that borderline of potentially becoming like acidosis, metabolic acidosis. We got it up. Like those kidneys are a lot more happier. We're looking at your urinalysis and your protein spilling number has improved. So like little things like that to show that there's still wins, even though if you're focusing on the GFR and it's not where you want it to be. It doesn't mean, like Jen said, you're not a failure. It doesn't mean you did anything wrong. And I don't want people sitting with that and feeling like beat up because they've done all the things and they haven't seen that improvement. And so just harping on like really understanding your labs, really having that conversation with your doctor, really working with a kidney dietitian to really help you understand what is going on with the health of your kidneys so you can have a better sense of security, a better sense of understanding than just beating yourself up for just this one number. And it's also an estimation, right? It's just an estimate of kidney function. It's not exact. So the biggest thing is like, yeah, labs give us data. Labs are not permanent. And there's things that you can still do, whether it's through your nutrition, whether it's through your lifestyle and with medications to really help truly support you in the best way that your kidneys can do.
That's really powerful. Thank you both for sharing that. This is
Yeah.
my last question for both of you. If a patient is in front of you today and they just got diagnosed, what is one thing you would say to them?
I would say that CKD is not a death sentence. It's not a death sentence. It does not automatically mean you're going to be on dialysis. It does not automatically mean there's nothing you can do. It is part of who you are. But there are so many tools and strategies and tips that you can do to truly help support your kidney function in a way that can help you live a life with a chronic disease and still be active and enjoy life.
Yeah, I clearly enjoy talking. So I'm thinking, what's like, if I can funnel this down to one thing, and I think it would probably come off as a fun threat of you better keep living your life and enjoying the things you want to enjoy, because this is something that we're going to navigate here on out. And we need to figure out what that's going to look like for you, because it breaks my heart when I hear people say that they're avoiding family get-togethers, they're avoiding events, they're avoiding holidays, they're removing all of these joyous things from their life simply because they have kidney disease and they're scared. And that's just a matter of, okay, we need to learn and educate more about what's going on, and we need to look at the data that we see. We need to figure out what we can use to work to help support you. But if it's anything that you're doing that means you have to back away from your own life, that's not the answer. So don't you dare stop going out and enjoying yourself, because if you do that, you're not on the right track.
Thank you for sharing that, guys. That's it for our session today. And thank you so much for joining us and like taking out the time. And I'm sure that this information and knowledge is going to help so many people out there and like take them back to your creator profiles and see what you are providing, like Jen, your book, and Vanessa, your website and your posts and everything. Anything else that you guys want to add?
No, just thank you so much for the opportunity to to kind of do this roundtable. I
Yeah.
really enjoy it.
Yeah, thank you so
I
much.
really
It was
enjoyed
great.
it.
A lot of fun.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.